There we go.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
How are you?
It's been a while.
Foreman Void is live. Why, yes we are.
Live
Live at the garden. Live at the garden. We are here today to talk about our favorite albums of the year, but we'll probably start talking about Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So that's what you do.
Just calling it like I see it.
That's what you do.
That is what you do.
We loved it. We loved it a lot.
We all loved it. If you didn't love it,
Please
you
don't
need to
Please
reevaluate
don't be fans
yourself.
of our band. I don't want you
I'm
as a
not
fan.
going to go that far.
I don't want you as a fan.
I think we have 200 likes on Facebook. I don't think we can afford to turn people away at this point.
Those are a quality 200 people.
That is true. Every
Quality,
single one of you,
not quantity.
every single
quality.
one of you. These are actual pants, just FYI. Every single one of you is
10% of you is my family.
and the other 20 is mine.
Justin's got like another 10% in there, so that other percentage.
I think
People that's not family.
I think my mommy and my daddy like us on Facebook. Mommy and daddy, do you? Okay, we're gonna do top 3 albums of the year because we typically
Power
do-
Trip didn't make it.
They didn't.
Oh.
We typically do a top 10
Don't
each
they
year,
hear that's
but,
number one? Shut
we
up.
decided
No, it's
to
not.
make it a little bit more palatable
Most
this year.
Basic album of the year.
Feel free to jump down in the comments and disagree with us or agree with us, whatever. We love them comments. Really quick before we get going, just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who came out to see us at the Emerson on December 4th.
That Monday night.
That was a great show. We ended up with probably, what was it, over 100 people there?
Yep.
Which for Emerson
And
on a
guys,
Monday is pretty good.
Andy Williams ended up being the best guy to play there that night.
Hi, Brian.
Killed it.
So yeah, just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came to see us. It was really fun.
It was good. Good times.
We had a really good time. This is the first time we've played the Emerson as Foreman Void, and we honestly loved it. So we hope you loved it too. There's a little video on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page with some footage from that show. If you care to see it, to see what you missed, or to reminisce about the incredible night you had if you were there. Oh, jeez. So, yeah, check that out. No shows coming up currently. We're taking some time to write some stuff. Maybe some new material coming your way here soon. At some point. Soon is maybe a aggressive word. At some point, we will release music.
I would say soon.
Of some
We're
kind.
close.
You'd say soon?
It's soon, like the Tool album is coming out soon.
Ah, see? One of those bands
Brian.
that I hate, and we
You know
will
what's
not be that
ironic?
band that lies to their fans.
You know what's ironic? You know who listens to Tools?
Oh.
People who are tools.
Actually,
Someone who
we
you
probably-
would yell, "You're a tool" at.
We probably do have a lot of Tool fans.
That's
that
okay.
might
You know
like
you're a
us,
Tool.
because we do get compared to them from time to time. And,
We did?
but I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, for sure.
Foreman Void?
Yeah, yeah.
I knew Tug Fork did.
I get compared to Maynard, and that's not me tooting my own horn because I do not like him. But yeah, people come up to me and they're like, "You
Just,
feel like Maynard." No, I'm not.
Just
He was-
FYI, I
he
did
was-
just toot my own horn. So,
He was good on Joe Rogan.
sorry.
Maynard was? Well, of course he was.
Talked
But he
about
was real
wine.
interesting and about how crazy his life is. What a wacko he is. I'm a crazy guy.
Wild and crazy guys.
No, you're just pretentious and you're trying to sell this character, and I don't believe you.
Okay, let's just dive.
Basic life, I bet.
Do you want to punch
Dive
your
into
first
it.
pick in?
Oh. Are we doing number 1 first or number 3 first?
3. Right?
Okay.
I
That
don't
makes
even know
sense
what
to
my
me.
top 3 are, so let's do this.
We gotta build the suspense.
I know what my number
So-
1 is.
This is... no, I don't want to play that song. I want to play a different song. Sorry. This is... There we go. An album called The Farfield by a band called Future Islands. This is my... I
This
feel like maybe
album-
I need to notch this up one more. Just let us know if the music
bump
is
this
loud
up.
or quiet enough in the comments here, Brian. Let us know if you can hear the music. This album came out this year to much critical acclaim. This is a band that's been around for a bajillion. No, it seriously has. They've blown up quite a bit off this album.
It has.
So they've been around forever. A few years back, they released an album called Singles, and there was an infamous Letterman performance that they got because Letterman was known for his awesome taste in music. Just to be real.
I'll give you that.
Anyways, they were on there. They killed it, and they gained a huge wave of fans. That the joke "I loved you before Letterman" has come to exist. And I was unfortunately a Letterman fan. Justin found them and showed them to me, and their music is incredible. And this new album is no exception. They did something really cool with one of the singles off this album. They had an interpreter, an ASL interpreter, sign the whole song for the lyric video. It was just a unique idea.
And it wasn't a fake one like that police thing.
Okay, Aaron, have you heard about this?
No.
There was a lady who there was a press conference that a sheriff was doing
Okay.
in this conference room, and he's talking about like serious stuff, like murder suspects being located and stuff like that. And she walks up there and starts signing.
But it's not actual sign language. I think it's weird.
And everyone just assumed she was supposed to be there. And
Seems like a real staple.
some people who know ASL like wrote the studio like,
Real mentally
hey, just so
stable.
you know, she wasn't signing anything. She was just waving her arms around, and then they found
That's a
out.
good idea. I mean, that's one way.
She was probably
That's one way to get
she
your
was
name out
a
there.
woman probably in her like late 40s, early 50s. I would totally guess. I could be way off. It's a pretty grainy video, but she just looks like she belongs. It's the most incredible thing.
Like right next to the guy that's talking.
Yeah, like she wasn't like hiding. She, like podium her. It was so great. Anyway,
That takes some confidence.
I think it's great.
this album again, The Farfield by Future Islands. I would call it synth pop, indie synth pop. It's hard to generalize things. It gets harder every day. But it's chill. If you're in the mood for something chill, but also a little bit experimental, check this band out. This album is great, and the album single, all their albums are great. But I would say of all of them, Singles is probably the most accessible. If you're already into this kind of music, just dive right into the new album, The Farfield. It's phenomenal. It's not that this album isn't accessible, but wouldn't you say Singles is a little
Oh yeah, definitely.
more accessible? But yeah, it's super good. Brian says Radiohead is better. Well, duh, Brian. We're talking about albums for this year. Good goof. Alright, Justin, you're up next. It's Justin's turn. So yeah, again, that was Future Islands with their album The Farfield. So good. I love that band. Also, I should
Good timing.
point out that my list is 100% different from their list. So just buckle up for that.
All right, here's my
Buckle up.
number 3.
Buckle up, buddy.
A band called Left Behind.
Yeah! This
Oh my
album
God.
is so good.
They're so
You
good.
got me on board. With
This
this.
is my number 5.
You got me on board.
I'd never even heard of them until this album.
Ugh.
That's
I
what
saw-
you do when you listen to them.
I saw like,
Ugh.
a bunch of people talking about this album when it came out on Facebook, I think. God, it's so freaking heavy. And the best part is, it's just got that like handful of West Virginia dirt just rubbed into it.
It's like Pantera.
God, it's yeah, that's it.
It's so good. If you lift weights, if you do cardio, if you work out, or if you're just super into
Drink beer on the
dope heavy
weekends.
music.
Oh.
Yeah, if you drink beer on the weekend or on the weeknights, let's be real.
Yeah, I guess they are kind
this
of
is
a
the band
weeknight
for
drinking
you.
band. Yeah, they're a weeknight drinking band.
Brian said his list is better. He said my list is better than yours.
He did say that. Prove it. So,
All right.
okay. Aaron, I
Aaron,
guess
yours
you're
up.
up. Buddy bye.
I want to see them live so bad.
How easy and accessible. Number 3.
Oh,
Yes.
sir.
Quite different. We
But-
went from pop to hardcore
Hardcore.
stuff to Chris Stapleton. He is the love of my life, so I'm biased.
Do you mind if I just, from the point of view of someone who doesn't really get into country music at all, do you mind if I just give a quick pitch for
Go
Chris?
for it. Give a pitch.
I listened to Chris for the first time and thought, this sucks. I listened to him for a second time and I thought, it's okay. And then I watched a 2-hour-long interview with him and Joe Rogan, listened to the song Tennessee Whiskey, and almost wept. His music is amazing. Here's the problem. Here's something I've learned about.
That's amazing.
Here's something I've learned about country music.
Yeah.
There are two main limbs on the country tree these days.
Mhm.
There's country pop,
Yep.
which is Florida Georgia Line, Toby Keith, just the overly corporate, annoying, barely country
Yeah.
millionaires who sing about working in a farm, and I hate that so much. And then there's this other limb that I've never known how to qualify or classify, and it's like country blues, where it's not underground, it's still a very mainstream genre,
Right.
but it's not as affected by the plague that is pop. And like this guy,
It doesn't have dubstep parts in it.
exactly, they don't try to like work rap in there somehow. It's just a dude with a guitar. Sometimes it's a little more on the rock side, sometimes it's more on the blues gospel side.
Sometimes
like this
you
guy.
go to church, sometimes you go scary places in the South.
Exactly. So the two country artists, I literally only have two that I like. It's Chris and Joe Bonamassa, and I think they're both on that other limb. And so if you don't get into country, again, sorry this is longer than I meant it to be, I would encourage you to check Chris Stapleton out, because what he has is unique.
Yeah.
It's unique, and it's real music. It's not like what most country is. Sorry, Aaron, back to you.
You're fine. I'm just gonna say he changed my life in 2015 with his album Traveler. Crazy enough, this year he did 2-part album. From a Room Volume 1 and 2. I cannot believe he released 18 songs this year, and I liked all 18 songs. That never happens. But I guess, hey, if you're gonna release 18 songs, split that crap up and release it in separate doses. I think
That's a good
Volume
point.
2. Yeah, I think it's better. It's easier to
Because you
swallow
don't
it.
get right.
Easier to swallow that pill. I think Volume 2 is a little better than Volume 1.
Yep. Agreed.
I think it's just a hair stronger. But man, just a hair. This song Scarecrow in the Garden is life.
It's so freaking good.
It's hard to really comment on his music because he's so much better than me.
Right.
You know, I shouldn't say anything. I just do this.
The first time I heard this song, I was in the backyard just burning a bunch of crap.
And that's what you do when you
Wood.
listen to this song.
And boxes and just burning stuff.
Guys,
and drinking
listen.
PBR.
Christmas
It's the
is
best.
coming up. Do yourself a favor. Go in your backyard, light stuff on fire, and
Maybe a
listen to
couch.
Chris Stapleton. Thank us later.
Mhm.
Thank us in the next podcast.
Yep.
Let us know how your experience went.
This is my number 2 album for the year. This album slipped out kind of late in the year. It came out about a month or 2 ago, maybe. But it's by this guy who I've fallen in love with, who is not really... I found him on accident through Spotify. I love searching for part of a song name on Spotify, and I'll listen to the song I want to hear. And in this case, I was at the gym, and I wanted to listen to 94 Hours by As I Lay Dying. I was feeling
Okay.
nostalgic. And this guy has a song called 94 Dreaming, so it was like the next song, and it played, and I was like, wow! And I recommended him to everyone, and almost everyone I recommended him to said, So for whatever reason, I'm just
You'll
super
have
into
that.
this guy. But he put out this album.
It's like most of my life, I think.
He put out this album.
Come on, guys! Listen to our band!
Yeah. He's not very big at all. The guy's name is ATO. All capitalized like it's an acronym. I think it's an acronym for his name that I don't know what it is. There's not a ton of information out there that I've found about this guy. I haven't really looked super hard. I just really enjoy his music. And this album is like... There are a couple of the singles that he had already released, but he put so much into it to make it really cinematic. And the style of rap is something I'm super into, where it's just really tight, really fast bars with a lot of... There's hardly any repetition except for maybe on like the hooks. And you're just trying to pack a lot of information into these verses, as you can hear right now. Just super
Kind
fast.
of like Nas style stuff.
Yes, like almost just talking, but it still follows the music, but it's really fast. And you're just saying a lot of stuff. And his lyrics are exceptional. The best of probably anyone I've ever heard in my life. Especially out of the rap world. Because as much as I love rap, the lyrics are typically pretty pointless.
Yeah.
So this album's called Man of the House. And just listen to the first track, and you'll know right away if you like it or you don't. Frankly, I don't think everybody would be into it. It's a pretty, unique style of hip hop. It's not really what's trendy right now. And definitely, and he's got a British accent. For whatever reason, I feel like that weirds people out with rap sometimes. Just to be totally honest, it does for me sometimes too. But this is a super cool album. He did a lot of really cool things musically. That, like right now, he's using the sounds of like shattering glass bottles to make a beat. I think that's cool. I'm into that. A lot of really synth-heavy stuff. But again, it's ATO is the artist, and the album is Man of the House. That's my number 2 pick for this year.
My number 2 pick might surprise Aaron. Because it might be his number 1.
I'm still undecided about number 1, but you tell me.
Darkest Hour.
Yeah, they might be number 2 for me
This
too.
is legit.
Godless Prophets and the Migrant Flora.
Oh my gosh, is it good?
It's so good.
Ah!
It's amazing.
Ah! Ah!
I loved their last album too. Before that one, I did not care for them. And here's why. Their older
That's
stuff,
fair.
their recording quality, it's just, maybe it's not the quality, just the like sound that they went for. It's just not my thing. But this sounds so freaking good.
It sounds great, and the songwriting is so much stronger, in my opinion, than anything
It's
they've
great
ever
because
done.
it's so much more melodic than their older stuff, which that's what gets me. I need that melody in my metal.
Oh my gosh. The end of Knife and Sacrum, guys. Guys.
And the artwork is phenomenal.
Yeah. Guys.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
You want
Get to that ending. Get to that ending real quick. You're not going to be able to hear it really well. I know it's faint in the background.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to the phone, honestly. It's probably fairly loud.
Listen to this. Are you ready? Just wait for it.
It's honestly a nostalgic album for me.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the 5 minutes when like metalcore and hardcore just started
Yeah.
Here it
like
is.
merging,
Right
and
here.
it was really good. But it's way tighter than it was back then. Back in like 2006, 2004 to 2006, I would say was the golden era of metalcore. Well, maybe even a little bit later than that. It's hard to say.
I think this is the album that made my top genre on Spotify be metalcore.
Really?
Because
I listen to it so much.
That's amazing.
My face
Mine
always
was
gets stuck.
metalcore as well, I think. Was it?
Yeah.
Let me check. Oh, because my number 1 song was Map Change by Every Time I Die. That song's definitely in my top 10, or that album's definitely in my top 10. The problem is, unlike most E-Titty albums, I'm sorry to wedge this in here, but unlike most E-Titty albums, I didn't like all the songs on that album.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of them were like just okay, or even
Right.
kind of like meh
Yeah.
for me. But there's a couple singles on that album that are just so good.
Will you check the comments section?
Yes, I
See
will.
if Brian said anything lately.
See what Brian's up to in the comments here. Better be up to something, Brian.
Well, guys, I think
He
I'm
has
going to
not said
throw.
anything. He said, wait.
I'm going to throw a little bit of a
He said
curveball
hi.
myself.
Okay. We're watching the comments, Brian. You feel free to say whatever you like, sir.
It's going to make this list a little bit faster, though, because I think I'm going to have to go ahead and agree after really thinking on it. Darkest Hour is number 2. Oh my gosh, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe 10 years from now, why that was number 1.
So, Darkest Hour is your number 2?
I think so.
And now you're going to your number 1?
I guess I have to.
Okay. Yeah. Alright.
Brian said Darkest Hour. Our album is great.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Yep.
Scroll, Derek. I've said a few things. It's all messed up. It won't let me scroll. And also, it keeps saying that the most recent thing you said is hi. But I think it's good now. It's hard to tell.
Here's my number 1. Guys, it was a tough call. But this album...
I have no idea what it's going to be.
This
Number-
album...
I was thinking maybe we should guess each other's number 1s. But I have no idea.
What's
This album,
Brian
guys...
said JRE 911, JRE 1044, JRE MMA 5, HM, colon, all
Rogan.
PMT episodes. PMT. That's my
Is
list.
that what he said his best look? Joe Rogan. Shut up.
I'm so confused. I do love Joe Rogan. Shout out to Joe. I know you're watching. Okay, are we guessing? So this is your number 2 also?
No, he said Darkest Hour was his number 2 as well.
Yeah. That's
So now he's doing his number 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're not
This
gonna bring it back. Okay.
album, this album, I think the reason why it's number 1 is I think that we've got many years of you go back to this.
Okay.
We're coming back here. We don't leave it in 2017. You take this. You take it with you.
Okay.
This guitar solo is dynamite.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Who is this?
Black Dahlia, right?
Oh, I think I've listened to this
Nightbringers.
album once.
Oh, it's so good.
It is good.
This is my number. Well, it's in my top 10, I think. I'm still debating my top 10, actually. But it's amazing.
Here's the deal. Black Dahlia Murder is, I'm gonna say it, the greatest death metal band of all time. And
This
might be their best album.
This is where Derek says they're not death metal.
Well, no.
We're not getting in that discussion to get their death metal. It's the greatest
That's
death
not what I'm bringing up here. You just said, let me quote for the people since you try to worm that in there. Black Dahlia Murder is the best death metal band of all time.
Yeah. That's my vote. I think they are just cream of the crop.
Cannibal
because they put that
Cannibal
melody
Corpse.
in
Cannibal
there.
Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse writes the same album.
The melody is why I say that they're not death metal.
Guts, blood.
They're a fucking
spilling
metalcore
out.
band, and you know it. Black Dahlia Murder's a metalcore band. Fight me.
I won't fight you because it's not.
You just said
They incorporate
No,
melody.
no.
They incorporate melody.
That's what metalcore is.
melodic death
I
metal.
like that.
Anyways, best death metal band
But
of all
best
time.
death metal band.
This
Cannibal
might be the
Corpse
best
is the
record.
best.
I would
Death
like
metal
to point out
The
that,
official position of Foreman Void is that Cannibal Corpse is the best death metal band ever.
I would like to point out that Derek was the one who started this podcast by saying it's hard to put bands in genres.
Let's say it.
Got me.
Say it with me. Say it with me.
Oh, Brian says.
Best death metal band of all time.
Brian says
This-
BDM is great, not best death metal band of all time.
Oh,
That was my
this
main
Brian
point
doesn't-
here. That's what I wanted to bring up. They are not the best death metal band of all time. You can't say that.
You can say whatever you want. It's America.
It's 2017. You cannot say whatever you want.
Where am I?
There's got to be metal SJWs out there.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ask. No, you already said, and I don't.
Cannibal Corpse.
disagree. No.
Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse. Come on now. They invented the genre. Well, I shouldn't say that.
You listen to the most recent Cannibal Corpse, and then you listen to this album, and you call me. Give me a call. Give me a call. Be honest when you call me. This is probably their best record, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nocturnal is
I was
always
gonna
going to
say,
hold a
probably
special
put
place in
this-
my heart.
That's
but
probably
my
favorite album
goodness.
of theirs,
Yeah.
Nocturnal.
Guys, they're doing this 9-song thing. It's
I love
really...
it. It's so
That's a
great.
good line.
It's like, you know what?
That's a good
10's
line.
too much. 10's too much. Let's
10's
do 9.
10's too much because the standard song length over the last, like, maybe 5 to 10 years has changed from 3 minutes to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Meaning the average song is 4 minutes now.
They have a song called "Of God and Serpent, of Spectre and Snake."
If you can't turn an album
What more
on,
do you need?
here's what I'm gonna say about that. If
Do
you
you
can't
need
turn
more?
an album on and listen to it in a sitting, like while you're doing something, if you don't have the ability to do that, the album's too long. And obviously, there's exceptions, greatest hits albums, things like that. You know, a one-off album, not a main release. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
The song's called "Jars." It's about collecting
Like not like a
body
deluxe
parts in
edition.
jars.
But if your regular album is over, I'll say 45 minutes to an hour, it's too long. It's too long. No one's gonna sit there for an hour and a half and listen to your music.
It's true.
You're turning people away. You're gonna have songs that aren't heard at that point. You're shooting yourself.
That's my favorite thing about this album. I think it's what makes it number one because you go straight through this sucker.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
no-
yeah.
You just
Yeah.
go straight through Black Dahlia Murder because that's the one thing that I've decided about Darkest Hour. It's a long haul.
Just a smidge too long.
It's a long haul.
Yep.
You get to the end of it and you're kind of like winded a little bit. I'm like, this is a lot. And you guys are a lot. Your music's a lot. Their music's a lot to take in.
It is.
And, yeah. I'm trying to think of something more to say about this. Something more detailed about it. Listen, death metal. You like it. You love it.
We could talk about how none of us went to see them when they were here.
Whoops.
2 weeks ago.
I didn't want them to hear that. Because I know they're watching. Trevor, listen. You're one of my favorite vocalists ever.
You know they're watching.
It was nothing personal. It's just there's a lot going on. The holidays.
We
are
had our
coming
show.
up.
Our show
Aaron,
is the next
Brian
week.
wants to know what your feelings are on cattle decapitation.
Cattle
They put out a new album?
Listen, Cattle Decap is
I
great.
didn't think so.
Cattle Decap is great.
Yeah, they
it's
are.
It's just that if you're trying to talk about the discussion of like greatest death metal bands of all time, it's a career trajectory thing that you got to look at. Black Dahlia Murder is dang near flawless. I mean,
Maybe
it's
not the first one.
No. The album that came out with the drummer from Abigail Williams, the first one, is black and purple on the cover. I think it was their last album. Maybe?
Nocturnal's
Maybe
Black
two
and
albums.
Purple on the cover. Sure.
No. It's got a much longer
I know
name.
what you're talking about.
Not the
Okay.
one that's green and gold. Or green and black or whatever.
Ritual.
That's the ritual.
Yeah. Oh, Ritual's my favorite.
Ritual's
I love
amazing.
Ritual.
Oh
Ritual's my
God.
favorite album of theirs. I don't think
I mean, pre-Nocturnal, okay, fine, but come on. Nocturnal Beyond. But as far as Cattle Decap,
They just got the last two.
the last
Everblack.
two, and then
Everblack. That's the one I'm talking about.
Everblack,
Everblack, I think, is weak.
it's not as good as the other.
I think it is
Fantastic.
literally.
Thanks,
I think
man.
it's literally the weakest thing they've ever done.
Don't worry about it. It's fantastic.
It's still good. It's still good.
It's not as good
Don't
as
twist
Ritual.
my words here.
But
Ritual is the
like
best.
the greatest thing that's ever happened. You know what I
Ritual
mean?
is
So,
literally their album of theirs that got me into them.
Listen.
I got the CD from somebody. Maybe it was you.
What's
And
the
just cranked it.
Moonlight Equilibrium?
That's on Ritual. That is a great. Or no, yeah, that's on Ritual. That's on
Gosh.
Ritual.
It's
That's
so ridiculous.
ridiculous. The opening song to Ritual.
So good.
Have you seen the music
His
video for
voice
that?
does
It's
this.
so good.
It's
Trevor
weird.
doesn't even need to do this. His voices are.
It already holds the invisible
does
orange.
this the whole time.
Okay, all right, Justin.
I
Number
hate
one.
to pass it. You want to keep listening, but
You guys want to guess my number one?
it's
Beast in Black.
it's power metal.
I guess Beast in Black, and it deserves
It
it.
is. It's
Yes.
power metal, and I love it so much.
This album is
That's so
amazing.
good.
Amazing. This is probably my number 4 album for the year.
Here's
It is good for power metal. Let me explain.
You don't have to be into
I
power
do not
metal
like
to
power
this band.
metal. I do not like power metal, but they are pretty good.
I love power metal so much.
Justin's way into power metal. Dear God, it's really unfortunate.
Camelot has a new one coming out.
Oh, praise God, Camelot's coming back with something else. Because that's what this world needs, is more Camelot. Spelt with a K.
Here's what I love about this album and this band. It's their first album
True.
ever.
Yes. I like the heaviness.
And my favorite thing in the world is finding new bands that blow me away. Because it happens so few and far between.
It's true. It's true.
Not only that, their music videos are
A lot of
amazing.
times we're relying on the Black Dahlia Murders of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
We're relying on them for that
We forget that
And you
you
have-
can be good.
consistency.
And you have, sometimes with bands, for example, Mastodon. I love their new album,
Yeah.
but the issue is you have such high expectations for a band that you've loved for so long.
They also have, not to get off on a rabbit trail here, but I think it's important to say, a lot of bands, and Mastodon is in a bad cycle, I think, as much as I love them, in that instead of... See, Black Dahlia Murder does it right. Sorry to keep talking about it. But you kind of start off with one thing and you progress, you get better, you write more quality stuff, but it's all still very much the Black Dahlia Murder. With Mastodon, what they were in the beginning really is barely anything like what they are now. And all the albums in between have been extremely different from each other. Like, your experience listening to The Hunter is way different.
Are
than
we still on Black Dahlia?
No, we're on Beast
Oh,
of Black.
okay. Sorry.
Which I'm gonna
You're talking about Black Dahlia.
I'm gonna bring it back around to them. I'm sorry, but like, I just think that bands who try to reinvent themselves with every album, you know what I mean? Like,
You know what's great
just
about
to-
power metal? The guitar solos don't stop.
Yep.
You go from one to another.
You add things. You add things to what you want.
Yeah.
I think that's the best
Uh,
way. If you try to reinvent yourself with every album, anyways, Beast in Black.
What if they toured with Camelot
Exception.
and Amaranthi?
Oh my god. I would go wherever it was. Like, I
Anywhere.
would fly to China. and
Who?
see
Can you
that.
imagine the production?
Beast in Black, Camelot, and Amaranth.
Oh, I mean, it sounds like a great night.
Here's an exception to the reinventing yourself thing. 100th.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it is still that risk of,
Yep. Should have started a new band for that album, to be honest. I've said that a million times, I'll say it again.
I like where they went, but I don't care for their old stuff.
Right.
And I can't speak for fans of their old stuff. I know some people who like all of it. But it's like, yes, you went to a good place. So I guess we're talking kind of the opposite of Mastodon. Kind of started, well, I don't know, Mastodon started in a place I didn't really care for. It went to an amazing place, and then it's kind of gotten to a place where I like it, but it's not as good. 100 just started playing in a place that I'm like, I don't care for it, and then went to a place that's great. But it still wouldn't make me want to go back to the old stuff, you know? It's too... I don't know how to look at that. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. Career as a whole, I don't know what to say about that. I guess at least you're on the high end now. At least you're in the right spot now.
Ready for the last Berserker?
100th, I know you're a white.
Wait, pause.
It's not done. He's not done. Okay, now we're
Ah, it's so good.
I actually do like this album, and the extent of my power metal is Iron
This
Maiden.
song is so good. This is my favorite song. Blind and Frozen.
All of them are just phenomenal.
This part right here, ready?
I love
Wait,
every-
The interest.
wait.
It's so good.
Ah!
I've listened to. Have you guys listened to the last track on this album?
This is a dude! This is a dude! He has that good of a voice, he can sing that high.
I've listened to the last track every day for the last.
Oh my gosh. It's so good.
Now, here's what's interesting about this album. You'll be listening to it, and I like to go places when I listen to music, and for a lot of the album, I am in the jungle fighting with tigers. But then randomly, I'll be in a gay nightclub, and I won't know how I got there.
Oh my gosh.
In
So
the
I'm gonna in the 80s. We're at a gay nightclub in the 80s, so I gotta warn you that you gotta be ready to go to an 80s gay nightclub.
Alright. You guys ready for this?
Is
Like
yours-
this part right here
is
is
it-
pretty gay, but
I don't know how to pronounce it, but is it the
Yes.
Tentacion?
XXX Tentacion.
Aaron's face.
Alright.
number one, I still don't get it.
Let's explain. So this guy was a SoundCloud rapper who was famous for a song he put out in like 2014, 2015. And he just kind of coasted on that.
Respectable start.
And it sucked. It sucked. Like, everything he'd ever put out was so bad. Like, really poorly. He recorded it himself. It sucked. He's a huge douchebag. Like, you look at, he's young. He's still like, he's 17 current day.
Oh, dang.
He's super young, but he's just the biggest douche, in and out of prison all the time.
Derek, this hurts.
What?
This is your introduction to your number one album, isn't it?
So, I mean, you need that, that level of craziness to reach greatness, right?
It's not for everybody, okay? Although it's blowing up. But it's also become a bit of a meme to kind of make fun of him because he's such a weird person.
Sure.
Like, he just randomly one day dyed his hair like white and he's got like dreads and he shaved his eyebrows off and tattooed a tree on his forehead.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
He's just a crazy guy. And he literally just got put in prison. His bail got revoked and he got put in prison for beating his girlfriend who was pregnant at the time, supposedly. He actually got put in prison because he came up... This is the dumbest thing ever. He showed up to court with a letter. This is my understanding. I'm not, like, read into it a ton, so feel free to correct me. He shows up at court with this document signed by her that says she was dropping the charges. And the judge is like, clearly you've tampered with the witness, so here's 8 new charges for you. So now he could potentially be going to prison for 77 years as a 17-year-old. So it's tragic. It's truly tragic.
The career could be over.
He had like a...
As we speak.
Not necessarily. I mean, you make those prison
Burzum.
albums.
Yeah, Burzum. They made it happen.
Burzum, the example for all things just terrible.
I just want to say very upfront, I don't know why I like this album. On paper, I should hate this album. I listened to it like, this is going to suck, because I saw it came out, and I fell in love with it immediately. And I've probably listened to it every day since it came out.
I don't hate it, for the record.
Really?
No, I don't hate it. I don't think there's anything that's horrible about it.
It's just really unique. A lot of the songs aren't like a common length. A lot of them are really short.
The album's only
Like-
20-some minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super short. Super short. But... And the recording is honestly kind of crappy. Like, a lot of them, it's like this song, Orlando, it's pretty good. Oh, sorry. So it's XXXTentacion on the album is called 17. It's just a super unique album, and the lyrics, in my opinion, are really good. A lot of people think they're stupid, but people are always going to say that about something. Why it got #1 for the years, because I've literally listened to it like every day, and I love it, and I don't know why. It's super weird for me to love it so much. And especially because... So this is one, I guess, fun reason why this is my #1, is the really interesting conversation. Can you separate art from an artist?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this guy is very...
This conversation
He's definitely been convicted and gone to prison. Right? He very likely beat the crap out of his pregnant girlfriend.
Right.
So the question, is it okay to like the, a tortured artist will say, product, if they're a genuinely terrible person? Like, can you separate it? I think so, obviously. So I like this album.
You don't feel that way about Tim, though.
Tim?
Yeah.
Maybe it's-
Right? You don't?
It's tough to say.
I'm not, like, trying to call you out. I mean...
No, that's a
I
great
mean, that
question.
sincerely, you
That's a
don't
great
feel that way
question.
about Tim, as far as I am aware.
I guess
Tim
here's
Lambesis
the
is
distinction for me. This guy, like, I follow his social media and stuff like that. It seems like he's a genuinely good person who only knows how to be a bad person. Like, those are the only cards he's ever been given, so that's all he knows how to work with. Even though he has good intentions, I think, in life. He's a positive person. He tries to spread... He tried to... his court date actually ruined this, but he tried to, like, create this free concert as, like, a anti-rape event with, like, all these seminars where women could, like, share their stories and things like that. Like, I think he's a person with a lot of good ideas and good intentions. And there's a lot of sort of, like, purity in there, I guess. But I think he just only knows how to deal with things in the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because the responses you have to situations, especially at this young of an age, are so baked in from your upbringing, from your surroundings. And if you had a bad upbringing and you've always been in bad surroundings, I don't think that excuses your actions. But I think it's different than Tim, who had a great upbringing, supposedly. You know, I watched their documentary, As Early Dogs documentary, probably like 30 or 40 times in its entirety, including like the appendices.
It's a great documentary.
I was obsessed with that band, like on another level. They were like my favorite band for a very long time.
Right.
And his parents seemed like genuinely good, intelligent people who at the very least brought him up in a healthy environment. And then he does a horrible thing. He tries to have his wife killed. And then you think, okay, now he's going to at least be remorseful. He's not remorseful in prison. He tries to sue the prison for mistakes that he's made with the whole gynecomastia thing. So I'm like, that's a bad person. So I don't like that bad person's music, regardless of his actions. It's more about his personality, and that shades his lyrics and his music for me.
Sure.
These lyrics and music are shaded by someone who I think maybe in different circumstances wouldn't have made the mistakes he's made, and I think has a lot of regret for the things that he's done. You know what I mean?
I am always I don't have very many people that agree with me on the subject, just to be clear. But I am a firm believer in complete and utter separation of a person's music and the person.
Really? Even if so, that's why you like
The
Taylor
reason
Swift.
why I have multiple reasons why. Oftentimes when you find a band, most of the time when you find a band, you don't know the person, nor do you need to know the person.
Right.
You are listening to music.
Right.
That person's actions that may follow or whatever has nothing to do with you. It's not your fault. You have nothing to do with that.
Well, and it's really a modern day sort of thing with like social media and all that we have access to even like a glimpse of these.
And there's people that you still don't know. Like,
Wait, really
like,
quick. We love the new 100th album, Brian. Don't mistake us.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I just said they should have released it under a different name and let it be its own thing. But I love that album. That was one of my most listened to albums on Spotify for the year.
100th was amazing.
Sorry.
Let me jump
Go
in
on.
here, and I'll use 100th as an example just because you said their name. How do I know 100th isn't filled with a bunch of child predator, messed up human beings?
Yeah, look at that one
There-
band that supposedly, what was
We
it,
can sit there and
gang
say-
raped that girl
Oh,
this year?
Decapitated.
Decapitated.
You can say probably not all you want, but you don't know.
The band name should give away that maybe they're not the best dudes. Just saying.
So anyways, here's how I feel about it. I feel like it's not your fault if something goes on. Therefore, I've never understood. Now, here's the difference. If you're distracted by somebody's actions, therefore cannot continue to listen. We kind of talked about that as far as Tim Lambesis is concerned.
Yeah. Well,
That
what did
I
you think
am-
about his apology?
that
Just
I'm-
curious.
His apology is almost irrelevant because he does not need to apologize to me. I have nothing to do with his life. I hope,
You do though.
but I don't.
You
I
consume
don't.
the product that he
have-
generates.
But it's a product that I'm buying from the guy.
Yeah.
It's not.
So so he does have an effect on you.
He has an effect on me, but it's on a personal. I don't know. We don't know each other.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's all I'm
Okay. Yeah.
And so I am. If I was going to be honest, if I ever talked with Tim, it would just be that I am distracted by what happened. So it distracts me. I don't really want to be distracted. But I don't feel like I need to go burn all my As I Lay Dying stuff, and I don't feel like I need to go online and make sure that I separate myself from Tim Lambesis or from As I Lay Dying, because it's not my fault. I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And if like a person's out there walking, I'm speaking to you now. If you're out there walking around in an As I Lay Dying shirt, if you see somebody in an As I Lay Dying shirt, like leave them alone. Like
Yeah.
what does that have to do with anything? I mean, we're just listening to music. Like, we are not these people. These people have families, and
I'm gonna
hey,
show you another great song you should check out by Bobby Anadov called Apartment.
and here's another thing. Like, you know, it's like there are people related to this man, and they're not him either. You know, so it's like I don't like the grouping of things. Like,
Right.
if you don't want to listen to somebody anymore, don't listen to him. If it's distracting to you, you don't have to listen to it anymore. It's over. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the way that you hurt a musician more than anything, is if you just completely stop supporting it altogether. You don't have to go on this huge rant about how, like, oh, you're not a freaking politician. Everybody's trying to be a politician because it's social media.
Yeah.
Please, let all my followers know real quick. I was not a fan of this person. Or I was, but I am not continuing to be. I just want you to know I am no longer friends with them on Facebook. I just want you to know that.
I don't know how I could still be a fan, Tim, or anything.
That's
he's
fine.
produced, especially lyrically.
I can understand totally being distracted by what happened, therefore
Right.
you choose not to listen to the music anymore.
Right.
I'm just saying it doesn't have to be like this whole are we allowed to be fans of it anymore? Of course you are. Like, it's music.
Oh, I see what you're saying. For sure.
And that's why people get caught up because Burzum. He comes up every time.
Woo.
Can I listen to
I
it?
love Burzum.
If you enjoy his music, it's fine. Oh my gosh, it doesn't make you a murderer. Like,
a racist.
A
I think is the bigger
racist.
issue. Well, no, yeah, I guess he's a murderer too. he's done a lot.
he's an actual murderer. And that's what's funny about a lot of metal fans. I will call metal fans out on this, though. They will talk about how much they listen to Burzum and how fine Burzum is, but they will crucify Tim Limbesis.
Right.
Okay, so the guy that murdered
actually
someone's
murdered
okay versus the guy that attempted to murder somebody. It's
I think
very
it's different when it's you're young and it's some douchebag, or it's your wife who you have several children with, and it's a hate killing.
I don't think it's up to you to decide. It's
know.
just somebody's life.
Yeah.
Listen to music or don't listen to music. You don't have.
I'm
you don't
not
have
saying
to
it's
understand
okay.
Tim. You don't have to understand Tim Limbesis. You either like his music or you don't like it.
Yeah.
And I say that because I have written lyrics for a long time, and I've said a lot of things in my lyrics, and I've heard people sometimes come to me and share their thoughts about what they think it means, and there have been times where they're just really wrong. I'm okay with it because it's your interpretation and it's cool. And I hope people can take something out of the music, but here's the deal. You're never going to get into me. Like, you're not going to be in my head. You're not going to completely understand where I'm coming from. You're not going to completely understand what I was saying. And we all need to understand that's okay. And I want you to understand that I don't need you to completely understand me. And I hope that you don't. I hope that you take your own meaning out of something, and that's what a relationship is. You remain who you are. I remain who I am. And you don't have to pretend like we are best buddies, because let's face it, however many years from now, I don't like giving a number, hopefully a lot of numbers, I'm gonna die, and you're not gonna be there with me.
I don't know, the advancements in medicine.
With the advancements in medicine and my high level income, it's not crazy to think that I could live to be 225.
Lord willing, my wife and my kids will be by me. There you go. They're the only people that need to understand it. And that's not just for lyricists, that's for all musicians. We're just creating art. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. That's what I say. I don't think that you need to know who Justin is. You just don't.
No one really needs to.
You don't. I need to know you because we connect on that level. All right. If we become friends, let's pour into each other. But that's not what music is. And that's why Tim.
Wait. You're saying music isn't a personal thing? It's totally impersonal?
It's what you make it. It's what you make it. But it's not a lot of times. Here's why Tim Limbesis hurt so many people.
Right.
They bought into this whole Christian bullcrap. What is it? Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think
ladies
it's that
and
at all.
gentlemen, Jesus Christ, I believe in him, right? He is my Lord and Savior.
I don't think it's the issue that he was a
believe in that
Christian.
strongly. But we don't have to put labels on it, and he was big about labeling it.
He wasn't.
The fact that
He totally was. The band he just said it was. He was
disagree.
adamant that they were labeled as a Christian band.
You're totally wrong there. I will fight you on this. Because he said they intentionally with, which album was it? The one before Powerless Rise. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. He said they released it or they were genuinely debating releasing it to reviewers with the first track being him going, "Hey, it's me, Tim," blah, 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 just saying random stuff because he knew that they'd still call them another Christian metalcore band. And he's like, that's not what we're about. We're not about the label. He was very adamant with that.
You were unfortunately wrong, my friend.
I'm so right.
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
part
in
of
the
it
early days.
was him misleading people.
Exactly.
And
it
I think
was.
he admitted to doing that.
It was misleading.
Saying
That is what I'm
we use this as
That is
we
my
marketed
point.
The
it
other
as a
members are
Christian
not
band.
Christians, and they kept fighting him, saying, we don't need to do this.
He said straight up that their last album that they released was all about him coming to terms with the fact that Christianity wasn't accurate for him. The
I think that
problem
was after the fact.
The problem is that he wrote the lyrics, and I think in the early days everybody was like, "We're a Christian metalcore band" because you had a guaranteed fan base.
It's true.
I think the last
They were not the
3
only
albums
ones.
that changed.
They were by no means the only
But my
ones saying
point,
it.
this is irrelevant to my point though. My point is that he wrote lyrics from a very distinct and adamant perspective. Whether he labeled it or not is honestly neither here nor there. The lyrics were very much from this perspective, and then one day you find out all that was like all those lyrics that you invested yourselves in emotionally, or that you connected with, that made you an avid consumer of this product, of this brand.
Sure.
Those were all lies.
Are they?
They were lies. He admitted they were lies for at least the last several albums. He's like, oh yeah, we were just.
I honestly don't know what to believe about the guy because I think
That's
it's
what
totally.
he said.
I think it's totally possible that you can write from the heart and it can feel that way. Like it can feel real and it can feel.
I think it did for the first couple albums, like
and
all
then,
the way up
and then
to
your life
through,
does take a turn. It
Endless
does
Nights,
take
Darkest Nights.
your life can take dark turns. That's why I'm always like, you can interpret it as you wish because it's. A man's life is going to change. Like, you look at Johnny Cash's career, for instance. I mean, you have a guy that goes through different segments. It's like, I don't understand the point of being like, I think he was a Christian at this point. Not so sure about this point in his life. I mean, it's
I'm not saying that's relevant, but you have to agree that's a pretty hard tonal shift from someone who sings about morality and
I think
even
it's just
religion. And then, I tried to kill my wife.
All I'm saying is I think it's
shift.
unfair. I think it's unfair just because
for people to be mad.
He wrote positive lyrics, so people crucify him more because he went and did something that apparently is hypocritical. I'm like,
I think he
it's bad no matter what. If you try to kill your wife,
right?
It's a bad situation. Like, leave his lyrics out of it. It's
Why?
like
That's part of his. I mean, that's the career he's built. It's the fame and popularity he's achieved are because of those lyrics.
I think it's irrelevant. I just think you're a person who, it's like, I come in here, I write lyrics, it's me sharing a part of who I am, but I could totally walk out that door and just make a mistake.
But that's
do something.
It's not possible for you to care about him killing his wife without bringing his lyrics into it. Because if not for those lyrics, you have no clue who he was and you wouldn't care.
I still don't think you have any clue of who he was, is my point.
Oh, I agree. He was clearly a liar. That's
I
why
think
people were upset.
I'm saying that's true for every
because
musician.
He's a liar.
Here's what I'm trying to break to everybody. You don't know any musician. That's what I'm trying to say.
You
just
you're
don't
right
know
about
anybody.
that.
Tim
Take the lyrics for what they
Tim
are.
is a very sad example, I guess you can say that. Like, I don't know why we pretend to know people to the point where it's like, I'm going to buy a t-shirt because I feel like I can buy into this guy's beliefs. Oh my gosh.
We did finish our list,
Please,
Brian.
people believe something based upon
Brian,
your
we finished
own...
our list. My number one was XXX Tentacion. Justin's number one was Beast in Black. Aaron's number one was
Black Dahlia.
Black Dahlia. He's texting me and stuff. Finish your list. We finished them.
Hey, this is a good
Top
conversation.
3.
This is important that we
This
talk
is an
about
important
this.
conversation.
Anyways, I won't go on anymore. That's the overall point I'm trying to make. You don't know your musicians. You don't know them, and you don't need to know them. Just like music or don't like it. Be distracted by it or don't.
You
be
don't think that's
distracted by
important? Do you not appreciate an artist even more when you learn a little bit about them as a person?
it. I feel like it's impossible to really get to know anybody.
I know, but I'm saying, like for instance, like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into his music until I got to know a little bit about him. When you understand where someone's
Tomorrow I'm
coming
gonna
from
find
with
out
the
Chris
lyrics,
Stapleton hates his wife and he beat her.
that's not my point, though. You're making it sound like you should never learn anything about any artist. You should just listen to some lyrics, and if they don't make sense to you, oh well. If that's the case, no one's ever going to listen to our music. I mean,
I don't think that's necessarily true because before the internet, you didn't know about anyone.
I don't think that's true either, because there were all kinds of like interviews and things like that before the internet.
But for like underground bands,
And
like
yeah, well,
I mean, you would have the
you have a good
random
point there.
interview in like metal magazine or something.
I would
you don't
argue
like
that
know the personal workings of all the members of Metallica.
that's true. That's true. But I think in those days, a big part of why screaming got to be so big is because people didn't really care about the lyrics because you have no context for them. So they're just like, just write a good song. And whatever the words are is what the words are. Who cares? I think that's what gave rise to that. Not that I have any problem with screaming.
Honestly, I see it both ways because I do see like the thing with like Chris Stapleton, like you see insight into his life and the meaning like sort of behind some of the lyrics.
Yeah.
But also I like the mystery of certain bands.
That's
and,
true.
Like not knowing where that sort of stuff comes from. So
That's fair.
I think it kind of depends on the band, really.
And I think it depends on the lyric. Some lyrics I think you need context for.
I think I agree with
People
what,
write about themselves a lot.
I think I agree with what Justin says, essentially. All I'm saying is I take it a step further in my thought process. That I think what I gather...
I have no idea.
I think what I gather from Chris Stapleton's music and lyrics I like about him, and that he's exposing some of himself, if you will. But all I'm saying is you could still be completely wrong. Like, it could all be a lie. And then he just writes stuff that sounds right. And then, okay, like, you don't have to blame yourself for liking a guy. I
don't blame myself for liking Tim Lee Beasts. I blame him for being a liar. For intentionally writing very personal, very about oneself lyrics and just lying.
Well, and I do need to be clear, because I probably wasn't clear. Again, if Tim Lambesis' actions are hurtful to somebody, I mean, I'm not saying that you must be diehard and you must continue to support somebody. Again, if his music is now, his personal life has become such a distraction, cannot continue to be a fan. I completely understand. I think I'm just applying more to, I feel like people almost go, like, overboard with it sometimes. Like, when it's like, we must separate ourselves from this person. I must make it clear that I am no longer a fan of this person.
Gotta post publicly or whatever.
When it's like, a Tim Lambesis could happen anywhere. If it can happen with As I Lay Dying, I mean, come on. I mean, who do you know? Who do you know?
The most upstanding
And so then I just come to the defense of people who continue to support As I Lay Dying. It's fine. Because, like, you just don't know. I mean, like, and so, like, if you like their music, you like their music.
I'd agree with that.
Just continue on. Continue on, everyone. It's fine.
Like what you want to like.
Yeah.
My number 1 album for the year was XXXTentacion. Like what you want to like. My number 2 is ATO. Like what you want to like.
Your favorite album for next year, guys? End of the year, this same time.
The new Post Malone album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
Actually, it'll be our full length.
Which brings me to a comment from Brian. Could it happen with Form and Void?
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of these days, Rachel's just gonna totally take me out. And they're gonna be like, wow, his drums were really not telling the truth. He didn't ever mention that his wife had the potential to kill him.
I just want, as far as Form and Void goes, I believe we are creating art. Art is meant to be listened to / viewed, consumed by somebody to some degree, and I believe wholeheartedly that you are to make what you will of it. Like, you are walking away with what you want to walk away with. It doesn't necessarily mean it was my intention. Doesn't necessarily mean it was exactly what I wanted you to walk away with. That's not the point. I don't want to force you. I think Chris Stapleton said something like that on Joe Rogan. Or was it Billy Corgan? Also, those interviews very close together.
Yeah, I did.
One of those very smart men, though, that are both excellent musicians and very smart people, said something to that effect. Like, I never want to, like, make you walk away with something.
It is Billie Eilish. I don't know who that is.
Eilish? This is dope. I need
We
to
got some
look
Billie Eilish going on right now, guys.
Ready for the single of the year?
Billie. Oh,
Ready? She's a rapist.
Single of the year.
Can you listen to her?
Oh, this is with Vince Staples.
Is it?
Oh, nice.
Oh, this other single with the same artwork.
Oh.
Similar artwork. I love Vince Staples. His new album is dope. It's in my top 10 for sure.
Here's a single of the year.
Probably so.
See, now here's a good example.
Taylor
you
Swift
liked
is
Form
a
and Void.
soulless scumbag.
Justin just exposed that he likes Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, ruined.
What do? You can't be fans of us anymore, right? See, that's the bull crap.
That's probably
Bull crap out of burn it all. Separate. I never was.
Taylor Swift sucks, but this song is dope, and the music video is incredible.
It's so good.
That music video probably had a bigger budget.
Wouldn't it hurt you to know that Taylor Swift probably had something to do with the writing of one of our songs? Probably. It's always in there.
What?
Everything you listen to, it seeps its way into everything.
I want you drummers out there to know
by
that
Taylor
this
Swift.
crap didn't influence me in the least.
It did not influence
Brian
me.
This
Taylor
hook
Swift.
though, this hook. So good.
Guys,
It does feel good.
We finally
It feels good.
We got an agreement with Brian.
Did we?
What?
He loves Taylor Swift.
Yay! And done.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah. That's good. Call it.
That's probably a wrap. I think we've probably been talking for too long. to be
Yeah,
honest
cool.
with you.
ATO, Man of the House, XXX Tentacion, Farfield by Future Islands. Check them out. Mine are the best.